Welcome to part 15 of building a dynamic community website using PHP and MySQL, brought to you by Flash Building. And in the last lesson, when we left off at Web Intersect, we showed you how to list as many of your newest members that are joining your site. And this is, we put in dynamics into the home page to automatically bring in these newest members. So if you joined right now, you would show up right there, and he would move over one, and this guy would be gone. That's how it works. And so now in part 15, which I still have to put up the links in the source files to 14 and 15 when I get done with this, but we're going to create a member search page or a member listing page for the site. And I'll just show you a few things, and then hopefully that'll get your wheels turning to get you to learn more mechanisms to build into your site for yourself. So let's go to open. Which one should we open? Let's just open the index page. Let's get rid of all this PHP on top. So we zap that out, and now let's save this page before we overwrite the index file. Save it as member listing. Or member search. Press save. Now you want to change, I'm going to change these tags like we've always been doing all the way through the tutorial, just so we get some better optimization and indexing. So I'm going to change those and then we'll resume. Okay, so I changed the tags, the keywords, and the description. Say Web Intersect member browsing. Okay, now we can go into design view. We have a page called member search. It's file, open, footer template, member search. Put the link, go into code view. The link on it should be not undefined, but member SEARCH member underscore search.php. Perfect. Save that, close it, FTP it up. Footer template. Now there's no file there yet, so that would be a dead link, but we're going to put this member search page up in just a few minutes. Okay, so now we have our member search page. Let's press Ctrl S to save it. Close the index page because I don't think we need that anymore. And let's make sure I didn't ruin the index page on top there. Yep, still has its PHP. Now we'll get rid of this box. Actually, we'll keep this box, and we'll just give it columns 3 in that table. 3 columns. So there's 3 columns. So I'll give you 3 examples, and let's name this one. Well, first let's just put the forms in. Okay, we got rid of the break tags in there. So now I'm going to go up to Insert, Form. Now we have a form, and inside of the form, looks like it's center aligned. Div align center. We don't want those centered. Oh no. We want the table centered, but not these. Get that class center stuff out of there. Okay, so in the design view, that's good. Now we'll add to the form, insert form button. Okay. And we're going to give it a value of go. You can give it any value you want. And all we need on top of that is to say, well, no, not on top. Right there. We're going to say browse newest members. Go. So that works for me. We'll even shrink that little go button. I think you can give it a class. If we had some text sizes that were a little smaller. See, you can put any classes you want on. See how it changes text orange? But I wanted to make it smaller. And you can make them smaller if you have it set up in your CSS right. Okay, so now let's go into that code view for that form. We need an action value there for the action attribute, and it's going to be this same page, member underscore search.php. So now when they press that button, that go button, this is going to post those variables, whatever variables we set here for the search mechanism, to post to this same page. And then on top, above the doc type tag there, we're going to have our PHP script, kind of like we did on the home page. Just like we did on the home page. So now here, we're going to add a hidden field. So you can go to open tag and type in input type hidden space and name. This will be list by Q, short for query. List by query. And then all we need is a value for it. And if this button is going to be for browse the newest members, this form, and we're going to have to make it say newest members, because I'm going to have my page, my member search page, showing oldest to the newest members by default. So we want to give people an option to search from your newest members to your oldest members by default. Okay, so, and the whole list in the database. So let's see, newest members, that is good. Now we're going to make two more forms. We have a hidden type variable going in of newest members. Name is this by Q, value newest members. Oh, what did I do? I broke it. The label tag. We don't need a label tag, but we do have to close this sucker up, or we're going to have big problems. There we go. Now everything is cool. You can take that form and just Control C, Control V, and let's do it right here too. But in this one, we're gonna have this is going to be browse by name. I'll show you guys how to browse with a search field, an input field. So you browse by name. So all we need is go into the code view, and now you want to make sure your names and your forms don't conflict. So we have ID and name form 1 for the first one we made. The second form is ID form 2. Make sure that says name form 2. Button 2. It's good, good, good. Hidden. List by queue. Make sure that's list by queue only. List by queue, list by queue. Newest members, this is going to be browse by YouTube members. If they happen to be a YouTube member and have their YouTube embedded, we want to be able to just search those people out of the database. So that's what we'll do there. And in this one, by first name. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this here. Make sure we have everything right. This needs to be form 3. And that all looks good. So let's go into the design view and make sure we put in this field for searching. Let's say search by name. And go to form, insert, form, text field. Okay. Okay. Go into the code view. And on that text field, we'll give it a name of what should we name it? Just F name, I guess. First name. F name for short. For the first name. ID F name. Input type. Yep. It's not going to be any initial value. No label. We have a label set already. We're good to go there. It's going to say search by name above it. Or right next to it. Get that break tag out of there. Okie dokie, that looks good. Now all we have to do is pop in the script that's going to parse these 3 forms correctly. So, first let's go into the home page. Get all this crap out of here that we don't need any longer. So we'll keep that table there. Actually, we'll use this table as the display holder for the dynamic results. So let's go to the code view, make sure there's no links in there. We don't need that paragraph tag. Let's get rid of that. Design view again. Instead of 90%, let's just go 60%. Or 70%. There we go. And just give it one row. That looks great. Maybe a couple of break tags under it. 1, 2. By pressing Shift and Enter. Shift Enter gives you automatic break tags there. So now here we're going to print the results. But first we got to put a script on top. Let's go up to the doc type tag. Bring it down a couple of notches or a couple of lines by pressing Enter. And let's go ahead and grab our script, and I have it pre-written because it's a little bit long and I don't want to sit here coding out for hours in front of you when you can just go and get all the source files. But I'm going to explain the code line by line. That's what'll make it nice. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Instead of printing output list here, because I tested on another page, we're going to print it here in this little table, 70% table there that's centered. Press V, Control V. We got to put some PHP tags around that so it renders out. You can print or echo, and that's it. The output list from this script will now display let's put a space in there with it. Let's put an NSBP. Control Shift Space. Now you can see it. Okay, that's where it prints out right there. Now let's explain this script that powers this member search page. Okay, so the first thing we do is open our PHP tags, connect to the database. On line 3, there's the connection to the database include, and you can also use require, but if it doesn't find your connect script, this whole script won't run. So I just use include for my connections, as long as I know my connection script is there. And then default query string is on line 5, and what this is it creates the default query for when the people come to the page initially. Before they even search anything, we want to have a certain query set up and show a certain member listing that we choose. Any one you choose. Any kind of query you want to put on your database, and any results that you want to display in certain orders or whatever. So what I'm going to do is pick everybody in the database where their email activated is 1, and I'm going to order by ID ascending. So that'll bring everybody out of the database who's activated through email, and we'll list them on a page by default. Then when people search, they use those little buttons and little forms we just made, then we'll give them different results. So that's why we need a dynamic query string. And so what we're doing here is pretty much setting up dynamic queries. Queries made in the database according to what the user wants to see. And you give them the control interfaces in the design view. You see, these are the control interfaces for them to see what they want to see. So when they pick something, we just have to set the right query string. And this is the default query string. Here's the default message we can show on the page above the results. And I'm going to add that in using print or echo as well. Okay, now on line 11, what we do here is we're setting up for the search criteria query switch mechanisms. See, we have the default query there. So what we do is if they're searching the newest members, or members with a YouTube account, or if they're searching by first name, we have to switch up the query each time. So we change the query string to where email activated equals 1, order by ID descending this time instead of ascending. So if they search to see or browse to see newest members, we have to switch that query up, and that's what that does. And this should say newest to oldest, showing newest to oldest. Then the next one is if they look for browse the YouTube members, we change the query string to be where YouTube channel does not equal null. So that means and email activated order by ID descending. So what this means is where the YouTube channel, so we're picking everybody out of the database where the YouTube channel is not empty. That's all that means. So if they put in a value for their YouTube channel, that means they have a YouTube channel, we want to show them. If they haven't, we want to make sure we don't show them for this query. And then we say showing members with embedded YouTube channels. And you can list them ascending or descending, whatever you like. And the last example I'll show you is the list by first name. And then what we do is we grab the posted fname variable from this form right here. See how it says fname for that input text type? So we grab it, grab the posted variable, put it into a local variable, then we run filtering to make sure nobody is going to try and gain access into our database. And these are the mechanisms you've seen all throughout this tutorial, or filtering that you've seen already. And then we change the query string here is a little special and different than the others. And this one is, we're picking everybody out of the database, or select. You can see, I'll show you the query string here, right here. Select all these things from my members table, query string. That means select all these things from my members table, where first name blah 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 blah, or where YouTube channel da 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 da, or where email activated da 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 descending. You see what that does? And if they don't pick anything, the default query goes right here for this value, which is where email activated is 1, ordered by ID ascending. That's how this dynamic query works. So here in this, when they're looking for the first name, we have to run a special query that uses MySQL functionality to search, and we use the like method. So we say where, select all from the database, where first name, like fname variable. So if you were searching for somebody named Joseph, so it would be this variable that came in from the form, that text field would be Joseph. So it says where first name, like, or is like Joseph, and what that does is it looks for those letters, that string within other strings, and it'll pull out all that data that corresponds to that. And email activated is 1. Then we say showing members with the name you searched for. So we run the dynamic query that I just explained a second ago, and here we build the output list like we did in part 14. Same thing. We check to see if their picture is there, but this time we're gathering the country and their website. And the output list is each one gets their own table now. So each one gets their own table, and you can take this table, and a horizontal rule separates each member. See this HR tag down here? That's a horizontal line that separates each member. So let's press Control C. So you can see this table. You can go to File, New, just open an HTML page just to view it. In the code view, press Control V and go to Design, and this is kind of what the table will look like when it's rendered out on the page. See the horizontal line there, and then each member gets a little table for their data. Okay, now let's just close that. We don't need it. I was just showing you for example's sake, so you understood what's going to be output in this while loop. This dynamic while loop is going to bring everybody out with their own table and their own horizontal line. And that is it. Then we close the while loop, close the PHP tag. Let's bring this doc type back up to meet right under the tag there. Press Control S, and now we're going to test it out. But before we do, we have to make sure everything looks cool in design view. Browse YouTube members, this should say. Browse newest, search by name. That's good to go. Now we want to print out right above this let's see. Let's turn that into a break tag. Pressing Shift Enter, and let's print out the query message. Control C on that, double click it, Control C, and right here print out query message. Press save, Control S. Let's reconnect to the server. We already put a footer template up that has the button that gets to that page, so let's just put member search up. See if this worked, and the code might be busted. I might have to fix something, but we're gonna find out. Let's refresh the home page, go down to member search, and it works. Beautiful. So it says showing newest to oldest members by default, which is wrong. It should say searching senior to newest members by default. There. And let's put a break tag right above this. One more right between this query message and the output list. File, member search. Alright, now let's test it out. See if we got our little forms working right up top here. And you know, you would probably set yours up different, but I just wanted to show you real quick an example of how to set up forms and buttons for searching. Let's see, refresh. Now let's press browse newest members. So this whole list should change. And it sure did. These are the newest members. Now I'm going to browse YouTube members. This should show. It's showing nothing. That's not cool. Let's see if this one works. Adam. Go. Look at that. It shows all the Adams that joined. That is cool. So that's how that works. So we have two working. Let's go and look and investigate. What's up with this YouTube thing? Maybe it's the query where YouTube. Let's try that. Wait, file, open. Let's open the register. See what the YouTube name is in the database. Yep, it's just YouTube. That's where we were wrong. Now let's put that member search page back up. And now that's about it. Let's see. Let's go to refresh. That's fine. Browse YouTube members. And there we are. Here's all the YouTube members, and I should be the last in the list. There's a lot of us here. So all these people have their own YouTube channel that you can check out on the site. Okay. That does it, folks. That's your member page, and I'm going to be sticking a link up in the Flash file too. I'll show you how to make a link to this page up in the Flash file. We'll put a couple of links up here in this bar. We want to be able to get to this page also from up top, not only just the footer, because nobody will find it down there. Okay, so in part 16, we're going to wrap this thing up by, well, 16 won't finish it. It might even make it to 20. But we're just about done. We're going to show you how to do some social networking things that a popular social networking site does, and I think I'm going to model Twitter's what are you doing now tweeting type thing. Run a dynamic feed of all the member tweets combined together on the home page. That way once somebody tweets, they get the top spot on the tweet list on the home page. And we can call it something else so we don't get sued, like twerp or chitter. Twatting. How about twatting? That'd be a good one. Okay. Well, we'll see you in part 16, where we'll take this system a little bit further into integrating some social networking type things. And the base system is just about complete. We'll see you in part 16.